My Hebrew brothers and sisters, 12 tribes of Israel, scattered all over the globe. Welcome back. This is your Moreh Yeshu Ben Uriah Israel, and we just want to continue to thank you for your subscriptions. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your prayers. So many of you know that I'm in Jacksonville in this very hour. Just being with my brother. His wife passed away last Shabbat a week ago. And homegoing service is going to be the 19th, which let's see, the 19th, which would be rather the 20th, which would be next Shabbat. And just here helping him and just help to give him some help and so on like that. Okay, so just want to let you know that. Keep praying for us. Everything is flowing nicely. My brothers and my sisters, I've been asking the question in my mind over and over and over and over about the fact that our ancestors were given the land of Israel, and through negligence, they lost it. Yet we have other people, occupiers, come in. We have the Palestinian people there. We have present day, what you refer to as the Israeli people or the Jewish people living there. And so to whom the land of Israel belonged, to whom it belonged. All right, I was reading an article, and the article is done by what you call the Chosen People Ministries. And it seemed like one of the workers have a similar question. But the way he answers the question is really bringing it back to the present day Jewish people. Now, my brothers and my sisters, if you're going to be fair and you're going to be accurate in reading the scripture and interpreting the scripture, we know that the present day Jewish people that descended from the Europe have no claim, personally, no claim through Abraham. Yahweh called Abraham when he took the land from the people of Palestine, the Canaanites, and gave the land to Abraham, our great-grandfather. And he promised that he was going to bless him through his sons, Isaac, and through his grandson, Jacob, that we refer to as Jacob, and their descendants. We know that Abraham was not a Caucasian. We know that. And the people who are occupying the land of Israel right now, they are Caucasian people, if you want to say white people. They are Europeans descent through the Caucasian nations. And we want to know, how could they use the Bible scripture and interpret it and bring it down to the point where they said that the present day Israeli people are descendants of Abraham? You cannot be in any honest thinking come to that kind of conclusion. So then you're saying that Abraham was black, Isaac was black, Jacob was black, his descendants were black, and then all of a sudden they change to being white. I'm not a racist. I'm not a racist. I have white godmother. I'm not a racist. I have white godmother. And she passed away now. But let me say this. She helped to raise me, so I understand. And I know the culture. And she did not claim to be descendant of Abraham. She came to be a Jephite. But she loved the Hebrew Israelite people. So then, one of the workers was writing, and he said that the Holy Land, the work in the Holy Land is going well, and it talks about, including evangelism, discipleship, congregational planting, and feeding the poor and elderly, and the children work. All of that is going well, he said there. And I'm happy that they're doing something, to help the people. And he said the opportunities to reach, listen to what he said, the opportunity to reach Jewish people for the Messiah Jesus in Israel is astounding. Now, they're not reaching out to the original people. They are original people who still live in Israel. They're not reaching them. As a matter of fact, they refer to them as Cushi. They refer to them as foreigners. Can you imagine? You're in this land all your life. Your family own the land all your life until they pass away. Now you come and your grandchildren came, and the grandchildren are hearing that they are foreigners. When the people who occupied the land start coming in 1898 or somewhere in 1889, just about that time they start flowing into the land. And in 1948, the United Nations decided that they were going to give them the land. So the present day Jewish people is not owner of the land. The present day Palestinian people who lived there for a long time, they are not the owner of the land. They said the land belonged to the people of Israel. Now, who are the people of Israel? Well, those who are living there now, they're occupying the land. They're living there, they're enjoying the benefit of the land. But the land truly belonged to the Hebrew Israelite people, the 12 sons of Jacob. These made up the tribes, and the descendants were given the land when they came out of Egypt. Okay? And so now the land does not belong to the present day Israeli people. And so you ask the question, in fact, the question is, who has the right? That's one of the questions that they ask. And I'm asking the same question. Who has the right? To whom does the land of Israel really belong? Okay? And he talk about, it is becoming increasingly widespread, a custom, rather a focus of attention, right? That's what they're saying, that and then they ask the question, is it Jewish people? Well, he asked the question there, but later on he answered it and said, yes, the land belongs to the Jewish people. No, the land of Israel does not belong to the Jewish people. The Jewish people, they are occupiers. Okay? They are occupiers. They don't belong to, because they do not have any blood relationship. They do not have any blood relationship with Jacob, with Isaac, with Abraham. They may have some blood relationship with Esau, because he was an Edomite, and many of the present day Jewish people are of the Edomite family. Okay? But they do not have any of those, relationship with any of those people. Okay? So they don't own the land. So here we have two groups of people in Israel. fighting and killing one another. The Palestinian people and the Israeli people. And neither of them own the land. Both of them are occupiers. Okay? So the United Nations recommended that they have the land, and it was established, okay, that helped to pave the way for them to the modern, what you refer to as the modern state of Israel. Okay, they call themselves the Israeli. And the land of Israel belonged to the Hebrew Israelite. Not to the people of Israel who's there now. It doesn't belong to them. And this writer, he quoted a lot of verses, and the verse I love these verses too, and I don't have time to read them to you now, but I want you to go and read them. First of all, yeah, in Psalm 24 verse 1, it said the earth is Yahweh. The earth is Yahweh, and all that dwell therein. So the land belongs to Yahweh. Okay, in general, yes, but He give it to us to occupy. Our ancestors, they lost out on it, right? And He's the one who determined. Yahweh does determine the border. Remember when Joshua took over from Moses, from Moshe, he divided up the land according to the tribes and gave it to them. Okay, and he talks about that in Acts, that Yahweh determines the borders of nations in Acts chapter 17:26, and in Psalm 74:17. Deuteronomy 32:8. Please write these down. Please write this scripture down and go back and read them. Okay? So, like every other nation, we know that Yahweh, the land belongs to Yahweh, right? But He gave it to His chosen, and the chosen people that He gave it to are the Hebrew Israelite. Do not let anybody lead you astray and give you false thinking and false idea. Okay? So He gave the promise to the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He did. And not only to them, but to their descendants, as we see in Genesis chapter 17, verses 19 through 21, and then chapter 26, verses 1 through 5, chapter 39, verses 9 through 15. Yahweh gave it to the descendants. Of course, I'm saying over and over, because of negligence, our ancestors, they lost out and enjoying the privilege of being there, and they were taken into captivity. The northern kingdom was taken into Assyria, and then the southern kingdom were taken into Babylon, of which a couple of years later, the southern kingdom, some of them returned. Not all, but some decided to return. Some decided to stay into the 11th, what you refer to as the 11th now. Okay, but we cannot ignore the present account to what it said, the political, complexities. There's some realities that we cannot ignore that. Okay, and but He gonna believe that the land belonged to the people of Israel, whom God created from the loins of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And praise be to Yahweh. These people are not the people. They have it wrongly. I'm trying to tell you that this is how the Caucasian people think, right? That they're trying to steal our heritage and give it to someone else. The people who claim to be Israeli people, they are Caucasian who adopted and who were converted to Judaism. I agree that they kept the Hebrew language going, which was, European was trying to kill it out. And I agree that they kept it going for years. Okay? And so they're like a caretakers. Okay? They're like a caretakers, to what Yahweh had called us to, and when we lost out on it. But we want to let you know, that including other people to come into the land is an immigration thing, okay? But we know that the land do not belong to the Jewish people. The land does not belong to the Jewish people. My brothers, my sisters, my time is gone. But I want to say this. I want you to be a blessing to someone today. Be a blessing to someone and walk with the King. Shalom.